And so welcome back to another one, you guys. If you are new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we're in the brand new 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450 because this is the S-Class of SUVs. You have a ton of tech and 3 rows of space. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing it. So MSRP for the GLS 450 will start at $89,200. Powering the beast is a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder with a mild hybrid system, putting out 375 horsepower, 5,500 RPM, 369 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 1,600 RPM. That power being sent to all 4 wheels through a 9-speed automatic with paddle shifters. 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 5.8 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 19 in the city, 24 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun paddle shifter or acceleration test here in the GLS, I do want to mention to you guys the drive modes. There's a silver dynamic button. It stands for dynamic select. If you press that forward and backwards, it will give you eco, comfort, sport, off-road, and individual, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, the all-wheel drive system engagement, and actually the suspension settings as well. We'll get more into the suspension a little later in the video, but having got all of that out of the way now, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the paddle shifters and acceleration here to the test. I want to see how quickly the paddle shifters are going to react for us here, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450 here up to speed. All right, we are in sport driving mode right now, pulling onto the highway in 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa. What the heck? All right, this does not feel like a 3-row SUV. You can feel it in the pit of your stomach, believe it or not. Paddle shifters are pretty darn quick as well, which is another thing you don't expect out of a 3-row SUV. But that acceleration, that was the winner right there. That was insane. Possibly because of the mild hybrid system, there was no sort of delay whatsoever, which you sometimes do get with turbocharged engines. But it's like this thing wasn't turbocharged at all. There was no turbo lag or anything like that. It was just instant go, which is a wonderful thing. Insanely quick for a 3-row SUV. That's all I'm going to say. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So up front, you will find 14.8-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 13.6-inch solid rear discs. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, it comes in at 113 feet, which is a sports sedan number that's absolutely insane on paper. As far as braking feel goes, it's luxurious. I'll put it that way. It's not a hard braking feel. It's not a firm braking feel whatsoever. It's a very soft braking feel, which traditionally you would expect out of a luxury vehicle like the GLS. So no issues with that. That is what this vehicle is made for. If you needed that insane stopping power, you still have it with a 113-foot number. That's crazy because typically with 3-row SUVs is you find in the upper 120s, if not the 130. So 113 feet, that's absolutely brilliant. But then touching on suspension and handling, up front, you're going to get an independent double wishbone type front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension, but also coming standard, you got 2 extra things I always love. You got an adaptive damping suspension. So what that does is it monitors each shock absorber individually, not only adjusting to the rotor perfections, giving you a smoother ride, but it also tightens up that suspension during heavy cornering, giving you better handling as well. So it gives you the best of both worlds. So I always love that, but very rarely do you find an adaptive air suspension on top of that. So you got those 2 elements. Whenever you have those 2 elements combined together, you have the very best possible ride quality imaginable. And when it comes to the air suspension, by the way, it does adjust dependent upon the drive mode that you put it in. That's part of the adaptiveness. But there is also a manual switch located just by the center kind of armrest here. So I don't know how to explain it. I'm just going to show you guys a B-roll, but that's pretty cool too if you want to manually like raise it up if you're going off-road for a little bit of overlanding or something like that. So I love that. But anywho, as far as ride quality goes, like I said, it's been perfectly fine in my short little test drive here today because of the adaptive damping suspension, because of the adaptive air suspension, this is going to be the very best ride quality you can possibly get out there right now. As far as steering feel goes, I actually like it. It's weighted a little bit on the heavier side of things, which you traditionally don't find in SUVs, but honestly, it's just right. It's not a loosey-goosey steering feel, but it's not a super firm steering feel either. It's what it should be, so no issues there. As far as cabin noise goes, we're going 44 miles per hour right now. I certainly don't have any issues, as you would expect from a $100,000 SUV. Then touching our rear visibility, because those third row headrests are down, it's actually really, really good right now. So I don't have any issues looking out my rear view mirror there, so you gotta love that. On top of that though, touching on forward visibility, rain sensing windshield wipers actually do come standard on the GLS as well. So whenever it detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's gonna automatically turn on those windshield wipers for you. So just one less thing you gotta worry about so you can better enjoy the drive. And if you wanted a head-up display, that is going to come on the Pinnacle trim. That goes for $3,550, but that's going to display your speed limit, and safety features up onto your windshield. Again, better help assisting with forward visibility. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450, finished in manufacturer Alpine Gray, which, by the way, I think is like a $1,700 paint option, in case you're curious, but that's the color that we got with us here today. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the GLS is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the number 4, indicating that the GLS, at least for us Americans here, is built and assembled in the US. But starting up front, you get that 4-slat front grille that does come standard on the GLS, just like last year. To the sides, full LED headlights, meaning both low beam and high beam. They do come standard. With LED daytime running lights, you get the automatic feature. You also get automatic high beams as well, meaning if you have your high beams on at night and it senses the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams, and when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up the high beams for you there. So love that one. To the bottom corners, you're going to have some front air curtains, and there is an AMG line package I wanted to mention because we have it with us here today. That goes for $3,250, but that does give you a little more aggressive styling up front, in the back, on the sides, all that fun stuff. So keep that in mind when you're looking at this thing. So I think it looks dang good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but that pretty much rounds out the front end. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, and so now since we are around to the side of the GLS, raised aluminum roof rails do come standard up top there. Satin chrome window surrounds also coming standard to get rear privacy glass. Also, you got some chrome found on the door handles as well. Soft closed doors go for $550. I wanted to mention that option because we do have that option. It's so stinking cool because not all the time, maybe your kids close the door completely, and if that were to happen, the doors close themselves automatically. It just kind of sucks it in or something. I don't know how it works, but it's stinking cool. Taking a look at the side mirrors, they are body colored power adjustable side mirrors. They will be heated with LED integrated turn signals. They are power folding as well. You gotta love that. Illuminated running boards go for $650. I wanted to mention that because we got that option as well. Then taking a look down at the wheel setup, 20-inch alloys comes standard on the GLS 450. However, there are 21-inch, 22-inch, and 23-inch designs available. And if you go with that AMG line package like we have today, those are 21-inch specific, AMG specific alloy wheels that you guys are currently looking at, in case you were curious. But anyhow, that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of the GLS 450, all the way to the top, there is no shark fin antenna. It's a very clean look. I like that. Mercedes has been doing that for a few years now. But rear spoiler with the integrated brake light, of course. You got the rear window wiper as well. LED taillights do come standard for added illumination at night there. Got some chrome accents found on the back. For one, tying together the two taillights, you got some more on the very bottom there. We actually have an optional towing package. That's kind of cool seeing that at the bottom as well. But here's the thing I'm not the biggest fan of with the GLS, and most Mercedes for that matter. It looks like you got dual exhaust outlets with chrome tips, right? Integrated into the rear bumper, which would be amazing. However, it's all facade. There is dual exhaust outlets, but they are tucked away. They don't actually go through those chrome tips that you're looking at. They are filled in with plastic. So anyways, having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. All right, Alright, so now since we are around to the back of the GLS, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it is a hands-free power tailgate that does come standard on the GLS 450, so you gotta love that if you got your hands full of groceries or whatever the case. But there is a button on the key fob, there is a rubberized button on the tailgate itself then as well. If you press that, it's gonna automatically open up. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 17.4 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, you can fold that third row down, bumping it up to 42.7 cubic feet. Then with all rows folded, 84.7 cubic feet, which is right on par with like the Toyota Highlander, Honda Pilot. I know they don't compete with each other, but what I'm saying is this is a relatively large 3-row SUV. So there are some buttons in the cargo area as well to actually go ahead and fold those seats down. So I'd like to see that as well. Got cargo lighting back there. There's some chrome plated tie down anchors. Got a cargo cover. There's a grocery bag hook, a 12-volt power outlet. If you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire. Found it interesting though how the lever to kind of lift up on that cargo floor was just off to the left a little bit instead of in the middle. It was kind of interesting, but nonetheless it worked. But there's a button in the cargo area to actually lower that cargo floor by 2 inches as well. So with the air suspension, I guess that makes sense. Then making our way up to the second row legroom, that comes in at 41.9 inches. For reference, I am still an even 6 feet tall. That's how much space I had in the second row. Rear ventilation does come standard like I was saying, but this time it's also in front of the second row passenger, so that's pretty cool. Bench seating does come standard. Captain's chairs are going to be optional. I feel like I had the captain's chairs last year. Got the bench seating this year. Cool thing with the bench seating is you do get a rear center armrest with cup holders in the middle if you go with that route, so that's kind of nice. Heated second row goes for $580 if you wanted that. You can find power second row sunshades for $580 as well. We got that option. That was pretty sweet. 4-zone climate control does come standard. 5-zone climate control for the third row is an optional feature here. 115-volt power outlet for those second row passengers. And of course, once again, they have USB charging ports to go along with all of it. So then making our way up to the front seats. Power adjustable front seats do come standard. Memory settings for both the driver and the passenger. That's one that usually doesn't come standard. That's for up to 3 different drivers and 3 different passengers, so that's pretty crazy. MB-Tex upholstery is going to be the standard finish. Leather seating though goes for $1,620. Napa leather goes for $2,990. And there is this really nice red and yacht blue finish if you wanted it. It's one or the other, but I'd go with the yacht blue. It's an exclusive seating package. I think it's like 12 grand, but it looks insane. That is an amazing look to that one. But heated ventilated seats do come standard in the GLS. And overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it's been plenty fine in my short little test drive here today. Like I said, these seats are plenty adjustable, so you really shouldn't have any issues with finding your perfect driving position in this thing. But then taking a look at the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It is going to be power adjustable. It is leather wrapped. If you wanted a wood leather combination steering wheel, that goes for $600. And if you wanted a heated steering wheel, that one goes for $250 in case you were curious. And the 10-2 grips, definitely on the thicker side of things, which I personally love. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key. It is a heavy duty key. I like the weight to it. Got lock, unlock, and the button to pop the rear tailgate there, but it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just by the driver's right knee. And so but then once started up, this is one of my favorite parts of the GLS. It is a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, and it is so customizable. Mercedes does gauges better than any other manufacturer right now. So there's a home button on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. If you press that, it gives you a bunch of different loadouts. So I'm not just talking about changing the colors. I'm talking about change the entire look. So there's understated, sport, classic, navigation. There's an off-road look as well. So you have a ton of different looks up there. I absolutely love it. I personally like the understated look. I think it's relaxing, I guess I could say. But all of these looks look absolutely amazing. The sport driving mode, it's almost like a 3D cluster. It looks really, really cool. So overall, the gauges are wonderful. Of course, it gives you things like how many miles you have left until you hit empty. There's your speed limit recognition, digital speedometer, outside temperature. Pretty much everything you could possibly want on a digital gauge cluster. They definitely win the prize for the best gauges in my book. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. A panoramic glass roof does come standard, and it goes all the way through the second row. You gotta love that. Another cool thing, since we're looking up here, is this fade on and fade off interior lighting. That's very luxurious as well. You got home link controls that does come standard for up to 3 different garage doors found at the bottom portion of this frameless rear view mirror here. There's 4 different wood trims available available. You gotta love that, because I always say this, whenever you hop in a new Mercedes with a wood trim, it smells like a new home, like new construction. It's amazing. I love that smell personally. But 64 colors of ambient lighting does come standard as well, and it is super bright here. I absolutely love that. Wireless phone charger located just in front of the cup holders. That comes standard as well. Just behind that wireless phone charger, you do have a couple cup holders there, and within the center armrest, that's a decent amount of space in there, and you got a USB charging port located in there too. But overall, the interior quality is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. So even the speaker covers are aluminum here on the door, so you gotta love that. We'll test out that sound system here in a little bit, but first, let's check out the infotainment screen, because you got a 12.3-inch color touchscreen display to match the 12.3-inch gauge cluster, of course. Bluetooth and audio streaming coming with that, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You got a factory navigation system coming standard as well. You can check out your ambient lighting settings up there, your climate control information, off-road statistics. Also, your radio information. So here it is, guys. 13 speaker sound system by Burmester comes standard with 590 watts. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. That's incredible. Like, there's a ridiculous amount of bass with that sound system. It was rumbling my feet. Maybe there's a subwoofer down there, but that was incredible. That's a really good sound system. Definitely overkill for a 3-row SUV in the best possible way. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen, of course, is when you do put the GLS in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. Pretty darn high definition. You also got the 360-degree monitor there to the left as well, giving you that bird's eye view, which is always is going to lead us into safety. So front side curtain airbags do come standard. You got a driver's knee airbag up front as well. Then second roadside impact airbags, they go for $700 if you're curious. Also in the back, you got latch, aka lower anchors and tethers to children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, active brake assist, emergency call service, attention assist, crosswind assist, side blind zone alert, and Parktronic with active parking assist as well, which will scare you at first, but it is a brilliant system with any Mercedes. But overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the GLS, excellent ride quality. That's the first thing I have to mention, because like I said, with the adaptive damping suspension and the adaptive air suspension as well, you're not going to get any better ride quality than the GLS or the S-Class, I'm just saying. Also, very serene cabin as well. I liked that. Excellent interior quality. The fact that you can get a yacht blue interior just blows my mind. You combine that with all of the wood trims available and the aluminum speaker covers and the fade on and off interior lighting. It's definitely a very good look in this thing. Brilliant sound system as well. Like I said, that bass was definitely rumbling. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown on social media at the bottom of the screen. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews and all of our fun YouTube shorts we put on our channel as well. We do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and we will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.